The Florida Gators have added to their 2025 recruiting class because Naeshaun Montgomery, you are a Florida Gator.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free where listen to the podcast and on YouTube. Happy Sunday. Yeah, I am Brandon Olsen. Bonus episode today because Naeshaun Montgomery has committed to the Florida Gators. Huge addition, honestly. We've been talking, first off, if you're part of the Locked On Gators Insider program, you got this prediction months ago. Months ago, this is what we put before the crystal balls, before the RP. We put this prediction in months ago for Naeshaun Montgomery to commit to Florida, and it's happened. So far, the only one we've gotten wrong was Kobe Howard, which even in the prediction, I did say if he's a take for Florida, turned out to not be a take there. But I think Naeshaun's a great addition to this class. Honestly, we've talked about him a lot in recent months, too. We had Brian Smith here just last week to talk about him a little bit. I think Naeshaun has the inside-out skill set that will translate to the next level. I mean, first off, he's got enough speed where they call him BLURR. And he has been blurring defenses early on. But we've also seen the clips from last season where he's going up and getting it just straight up on top of DBs. And I feel like that should be the opposite way in which that happens, right? I feel like a guy should be like, oh, well, he's really fast. He's going to run by defenses. And then when they adjust, he might have to moss some people. No, Naeshaun did it the opposite way. Naeshaun went up and beat people. By the way, I'm pretty sure if you watch his junior season huddle, the first play, he goes up over a DB, reels in the ball, and then just outruns the DB. But now, senior year, he's just straight up outrunning people. It's great to see from Naeshaun. No surprise the Florida Gators are adding a speedy receiver to their recruiting class. Who could have ever predicted that? Nobody, right? But I do really like Naeshaun Montgomery's skill set for matching with this Florida Gators offense and what the Florida Gators offense will probably become when you talk about Russ Callaway having more time here, assuming they are going to be here next year. Russ Callaway having more time here as a co-offensive coordinator, having more input in the scheme, more time to implement what he wants to in the scheme. I think Naeshaun really addresses that or really gives you someone that can do basically everything. Like Joshua Moore, we talk about, we go, yeah, well, he's probably going to be on the outside for most of his career. He's a big dude, pretty dang built. Vernell Brown, I think he could play outside, but most of the time when people talk about him, they talk about him as a slot. Naeshaun can move all around the formation, I think. I think his skill set's just great. I mean, he's one of the guys where I hate to do the he's underrated thing, but I think he's underrated by the recruiting services at least. On3, for example, has him, their industry ranking has him in the top 250. Their industry ranking has him as a 4-star. Their industry ranking has him as a 33rd receiver in the country. Their industry ranking has him as the 37th player in the state of Florida. On3 themselves have him not ranked in the top national ranking. I think they go up to 300. 67th receiver, 49th player in the state of Florida. Disagree. 24/7 has him not ranked nationally, has him as the 43rd receiver and 46th player in the state of Florida. Disagree. ESPN has him as the 107th player nationally, the 10th receiver, 14th player in the state of Florida. Rivals has him as the 58th player in the country, 10th wide receiver, 14th player in the state of Florida. Personally, I think ESPN has it closest, around the 100-ish range. But I feel like when we see this much variance between just where these 4 recruiting sites have him ranked, someone's right, someone's wrong, right? Like we'll see them probably close the gap a bit here, but Florida, I mean, I know that there were a lot of people that he put out the listing of his top 6. I think it was Florida, LSU, Penn State, Bama, Miami, and one other school, but I don't know. I feel like from the moment this started, we were kind of like, yeah, Florida. When he canceled the LSU official visit, that's when I got really confident that it was going to be Florida, because in June, I think it was the last weekend in June, he was supposed to visit LSU, canceled that week. And then, to my knowledge, I don't think he's visited back officially, but he is planning on this fall if he's still open to that. I don't know. Recruiting's weird now. But once he canceled that LSU visit, it became pretty setting for me that, okay, he's probably going to be a Florida Gator. So the Florida Gators have added a damn good receiver to their class. Personally, I think skill set wise, I'd have him as the second best receiver in the Florida Gators now class, which, by the way, the Gators probably are in the discussion, or sorry, I don't even know why I said probably. The Gators are definitely in the discussion for the best 3 wide receiver class in the country, with Vernell Brown the third, Joshua Moore, and Naeshaun Montgomery. Take any receiver class, take their top 3, and Florida, I think, will probably have a better receiver class than them in the 2025 class. I think Florida's done a damn good job here, which, I mean, hey, the assistants are great recruiters. They definitely help with that. But Florida Gators, great receiving class. Now we'll talk about the rest of it and their ranking next on Locked On Gators. Hey, Locked On Gators fans. I want to take a moment to give you a heads up on a brand new mobile game that I think you're going to love as much as I do. It's Ultimate College Football HC, Ultimate College Football Head Coach. In this amazing game and simulation, you get to step into the shoes of a head coach and lead your college program to glory. Can you imagine actually being the head coach of Florida, recruiting players, hiring coaching staff, to overseeing training camps, and handling school scholarships? You don't have to imagine it. You can do it. You can set your offense with the option, the spread. I believe they also have the ground and pound. They have the vertical. They've got a lot. Just saying, defense, they've got their man blitz, zone blitz, 3-4-4-3. They've got everything. I'm just saying. And guess what? Ultimate College Football Head Coach is completely free, has no ads, and is 100% playable offline. I will be playing it on my flight for the game this week. And you can use promo code LOCKEDONCFB, all caps, inside the game store to receive a free boost to your program. To download the game, just visit ultimate-cfb.com or go into the app stores, look up Ultimate College Football Head Coach, and begin your coaching legacy today. I don't know about you, but every day when I'm going through work, early afternoonish after lunch, just the energy just dies, right? In fact, research shows that more than 70% of us hit the wall after lunch. I know for a lot of people, that's when you go get your coffee. I don't drink coffee. I'm an energy drink kind of guy. I need a lot of caffeine. So let a 5-hour energy shot help you leap over that wall instead of crashing into it. Or you could run through that mother trucker. I'm just saying. It's football season. You could run right through it. I don't just drink it when work. I drink it. Hell, I had one right before recording. 5-hour energy fixes tired fast. So whether you have a long list of chores to do for the house, DIY projects, you got to go see your family like I have to today, rough stuff, you can check everything off your list with a 5-hour energy shot. So if you're like me, see that long list and you're like, I really don't feel like doing it, just take that 5-hour energy shot, get into it. 0 sugar, by the way. So that's a big thing for me. I'm a carb guy. So 0 sugar. Their website has flavors galore. They got watermelon, tropical burst, grape is my favorite personally, berry, and there's more than enough flavor for everyone. So you can try them all. Get a 12-pack or 24-pack. So if you go to 5hourenergy.com, it's the number 5, by the way, hourenergy.com, and get some 5-hour energy product today, you can use our promo code LOCKEDONCFB to receive 20% off your order. And it's only valid until September 30th on one order. So just saying, go make the most of it. Go to 5hourenergy.com today. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever you listen to the podcast and on YouTube. The Florida Gators going into Sunday were ranked as the 31st recruiting class in the country on 24/7 team rankings. I use 24/7 because they have the class calculator, and so I can actually see where that updates for them. But the Gators were ranked 31st on the 24/7 team rankings before Naeshaun Montgomery's commitment. Now, Naeshaun Montgomery brings them from a 211.41 rating to a 222.45 rating, moving them from 31st in the country to 24th in the nation. And I want to make this clear because I feel like I have to say this every time, because I feel like I've been praising this recruiting class for getting better and working their way up. And again, I just want to make this clear. I do not think that this recruiting class is good yet. I think that the quality at the top of it is really good. There's just simply not enough depth to it because there's not. But I think it's fair to praise this coaching staff, praise this recruiting staff for adding to it, where, at the beginning of July, you were in the 60s recruiting-wise. Weren't even close to being a competitive class. Now you're up in the top 25 there, making progress. In that time, you've added Vernon Brown III, Ben Hanks Jr., Naeshaun Montgomery, Demetrius Samuel Jr., you've added Miles Johnson, Joseph Mbachu. You've added a lot to your class for a class that at the beginning of July had 7 commits? You're now at 14. You were in the 60s. You're now at 24. I don't think this is a good class. However, I do think that this coaching staff has done a damn good job with all of the hoopla surrounding the program. I think this coaching staff has done a damn good job of correcting a lot of miscues, correcting a lot of errors, and building a recruiting class that you could at least look at right now and you go, okay, the foundation is damn good. You look at your defensive line, you've got 3 commits. 2 of them are blue chips, depending on where you look. You look at your receiver room, you've got 3 commits. All of them are blue chips. You've got one of the, I believe Ben Hanks Jr. is the 10th corner in the country nationally. He's a 4-star player. You've got Demetrius Samuel, who reclassified from 2025 at safety. You've got Waltez Clark and Tayshawn Gelsey, both blue chip players. You've got a lot of blue chip players in this class. Okay, it's more so about, can you fill out the rest of this class? Unsurprisingly, Florida is going to get blue chip players. That's what they do. Billy Napier has got a great blue chip ratio throughout his career. But for Florida now, I need offensive linemen would be nice. But also, I want to talk about this. When you look at the offensive side of the ball, offensive line, quarterback, that's kind of it, all you need for the rest of the class. We were told in the beginning, Florida wanted 4 receivers. That number dropped to 3. They're at 3. Florida wanted 2 running backs always. They're at 2. Wanted 2 tight ends always. They're at 2. Address the offensive line, and your offense is good for the class. I don't think they go quarterback. And if they do, I don't think it'll be a blue chip quarterback just because you've got DJ Lagway there as a true freshman now. You've got Will Griffin coming in 2026. Wouldn't shock me if a 2025 kid was like, you know what? Let me not. There's a lot of blue chip talent in that room, including the number 1 ranked national player or the number 1 ranked quarterback in the nation in 2024's class. Defensively, give me another edge rusher, give me another linebacker, another corner or 2, another safety or 2, and your class is done. You can walk out of here with 20 kids in your class, probably get into the top, let's see, right now, if you can get into the top 15-ish, I think that's where they'd wind up. And then the transfer portal, probably similar to last year. Add to the transfer portal with a lighter high school class. Go in and get yourself into the top 10 consensus-wise. But, I mean, again, this is just for a class that was so bad just less than 2 months ago. And where it was late enough in the cycle where we were like, hey, it's a lot easier for a class to fall apart than it is for a class to come together this late in the game. And with all the rumors around, everybody's going to get fired, everybody's going to get canned, what's going to go on? For all of that to be able to build a respectable class, I give you credit for. Again, I'm not saying it's a good class yet, but I do think that from where you were to where you are, it's really respectable, the job that's been done so far. Again, I need more. I do. Offensive line, please. I'm begging you. I shouldn't have to beg you. You've got 2 offensive line coaches, but I'm begging you to add something to the offensive line for this class. I think the portal will hit there, but they're not done trying in high school. I know I've seen some reports of like, yep, well, they're just going to call it in and just going to go for the transfer portal with the offensive line. That's not true. They're still trying for high school offensive linemen. But Florida, again, going this week from 31st to 24th, over the past 2 months, going from 62nd to 24th. I'll take it. 7 days of the week. Thanks for being Locked On Gators, your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free breakfast in the podcast. We'll be back tomorrow, talk more Florida Gators football, and we'll have a fun announcement for you tomorrow. We'll do it early in the show, but a fun announcement for you tomorrow. For Locked On Gators, I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work with Giants, Country, and NFL 33, and I'll see you all next time.